Hey everyone, welcome to the Reddit branch. Today we have interesting stories from Reddit that I would love to hear your opinion about. So feel free to let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for content like this every day. Passive-aggressive mother-in-law who uses her health as an excuse for her behavior. I don't know where to even start. First time posting, but I have just had enough of my partner's mother and her constant free reign to be awful. Partner and I have been together for 10 years, engaged for 4 years. His mother has always been very nosy and set in her ways, but it's been particularly bad the past 2 years. She no longer works, she retired a few years back due to ill health, for which I feel sorry for, but this seems to be the constant excuse for her bad behavior towards people. One of her main bones of contentions seems to be the fact that I sometimes don't wear my engagement ring. I am very conscious of my engagement ring, as a diamond fell out of it when I first got it, and it was replaced, so I am very protective of it. I take it off at night as my fingers as well, and I take it off to clean or when I'm doing heavy duty tasks, as I do not want to cause any damage. I do not wear it to my part-time work as I work in social care with care-experienced kids, and it's a health and safety thing. All my colleagues don't wear rings or jewelry when in works. My mother-in-law constantly pesters me and has done for years about why I don't wear my ring and what I could be up to, etc. Last night took the biscuit though. We were visiting partner's parents with his daughter from a previous relationship. I wasn't wearing my ring as I had forgotten to put it on. She asked me one-on-one, "Why aren't you wearing your ring?" I said I left it in the house and I ignored her. Clearly unsatisfied with this, she later announced in front of my partner, his dad, his daughter, and me, "You aren't wearing your ring, aren't you?" I said no, and I walked out of the house. My partner is going to speak to his dad about her behavior. I just know the excuse will be that she has health issues and that's why she's behaving that way. I don't want to enter into this debate, but her health is no excuse, and it's just used to excuse her lazy and nasty behavior. Yes, she is unwell at times, but people have enabled her to live this way rather than encourage her to do things herself. Health professionals have even withdrawn treatment and therapy from her, as she doesn't follow their therapy plans and have said that they cannot help her if she doesn't help herself, something she's capable of doing but doesn't want to. There have been other things she has passively done to me over the years, essentially accusing me of being a liar and favoring my sister-in-law over me. My sister-in-law doesn't offer my partner's parents one bit of help, whereas I constantly help them out with a multitude of tasks on a regular basis to get nothing but a hostile attitude as thanks. I will no longer be doing anything for them, it's not worth my time. I just genuinely feel sorry for my partner and his dad. His dad is stressed and has heart problems, which have been exaggerated by my mother-in-law's behavior and health issues. I help out to help his dad more than anything, despite studying a postgraduate degree and working part-time and having my own things to do. Would appreciate thoughts. Can also answer questions as I haven't mentioned everything about my mother-in-law, as would be writing a book. People replied in the comments with, "First off, the ring situation? That's right, I'm not wearing it. Get over it. Nope, not wearing it today," or even better, "Yeah, I'm not wearing it. Subject closed." Stop helping them. You have become their beaten down dog who still comes for acceptance. You will never get it from her, so just stop. You can do whatever you want for your father-in-law, but I would wean them off of depending on you for things. Can you and your partner maybe meet up with your father-in-law for a coffee or lunch without your mother-in-law? You are allowed to have a relationship with him and not her. Concentrate on yourself. Your partner can take his daughter over there without you. The fact that you feel the need to write a paragraph on your reasons you do not wear your ring leads me to believe that you are not sure if you are doing something socially wrong. So put that out of the way. No, you are not doing anything socially wrong. There are many reasons for not wearing your ring, and those reasons are doubled when you have diamonds in there. Yes, your mother-in-law is being a witch, but her behavior is bothering you more than it needs to. I think that the crux of the issue is not the level of passive aggressiveness that she's putting out, it's the lack of power of your response to it. It makes you feel so bad. Nowhere in your post does it mention you shutting down her behavior immediately. Getting sad and walking away is exactly what you wanted. In that instance, she gained power and you lost it. You give away your power and you lose respect. If you find your adult power and respect yourself enough to push back, then you will not feel as bad. People who push back will face some backlash and be labeled as the bad guy sometimes. That's okay. Consider bad behavior smashing up against your boundary walls. Think up some generic shutdown comments and practice them out loud. It's a big and scary change of life to start exercising this power. Standing your ground and having someone mad at you for not being the good doormat they expect. I can assure you it's worse in the long run. Good luck. Next story. Spiteful baking. I had a great relationship with my wife's mom and stepdad until she was pregnant with our first. About a month before our son was born, my mother-in-law told my wife, if anything happens to you, I'm taking the baby. From that point on, there was no relationship. Fast forward a few years, our daughter was turning 1 and my wife and her mom did not want to bake the cupcakes and cookies for her party. My mother-in-law baked all the cakes and cupcakes for our kids' birthday parties up until this time, and she did a really good job. I did not want to spend $100 on a smash cake, dozen cupcakes, and cookies, so I offered to bake the cupcakes and save money. I have never baked anything before except chocolate chip cookies. My mother-in-law made some snarky comments about how she's a baker and she's going to have to be in the kitchen while I'm baking them, and they both doubted that I could do a good job. She even said you cannot just frost a cupcake with a knife, they need to look good. I told my wife, hell no, she's not going to be in there directing me how to do this and telling me they need to look good. So I planned it with a friend to bake and decorate the cupcakes at his house and avoid my mother-in-law. The plan to spite her, I was so pissed and irritated I wanted to show her up and prove my wife wrong for doubting me. At the same time, I know I had to deliver on these cupcakes and blow their minds. I had my buddy order all cupcake decorating and toppers for me to keep it a secret. Unfortunately, he didn't have an Amazon Prime membership, so he asked his sister to order them. Well, he didn't give her the backstory and just messaged her the links to order. Her response? What the hell? 2 days before the party, I started prepping all the different colored frostings. White, blue, yellow, green, orange, pink, purple. I really am going all out to show her up. Her mom comes into the kitchen after they got back from shopping and tells me again, you know I'm the baker, right? She then proceeds to try and explain to me how to make a box cake. No joke, she started reading the directions on how to do it. I said, hold up a second, let me go put my headphones in. This pissed her off and I started laughing. Night before the party, I took all the supplies over to my friend's house and we baked the cupcakes. In total, we made 84 cupcakes, 12 regular sized and 72 minis. Morning of the party, I went over to his house around 9 a.m. to start decorating the cupcakes. It took a couple hours, but the task was accomplished. When I brought the cupcakes home in an aluminum pan and lid, my wife was shocked. Whoa, these are awesome. You did a great job, babe. My mother-in-law's response? Nothing but a blank look. My wife told me, you can do all the baking moving forward. Her mom didn't like that, because she had baked everything up to this point. The party, guests started showing up and commenting on the cupcakes. Where did you get these? These are awesome. These are so pretty. This was all a massive ego boost to me and my mother-in-law was relatively quiet. Eventually, she did see that I made them and everyone's minds were blown. Day after the party, my wife told all her coworkers that I was baking the cupcakes. I can only imagine the conversations about how they wouldn't turn out. So my wife proudly brought in a tray of 30 cupcakes and her coworkers were shocked. Massive ego post number 2. I asked my wife how upset is your mom and she said she's jealous and a little butthurt. She always says how she's a baker and her coworkers were shocked. Massive ego post number 3. People replied in the comments with, your cupcakes are gorgeous. Please tell me you said to your mother-in-law the secret to a good cupcake is not using a knife to spread the icing on. Because that looks like exactly what she did. Like a boss. I know you're saying who's the baker now, witch. Your cupcakes easily blew hers out of the water. This is the kind of pity I can 100% get behind. Amazing. Next story. Mother-in-law from hell took me for a biggie bang. My husband and I came from two different worlds. He came from a poor family and I came from the upper middle class, but I didn't care. He was nice and caring. My family really liked him, and at that moment the family-in-law were the sweetest people. Everything was fine until we got married. One day, my mother-in-law showed up crying, saying she was about to get evicted because she was 2 months late on her rent. I felt really bad for her since she was a single mom and still had to provide for my husband's younger sister. My husband was a struggling freelancer at that time and couldn't do much, so I asked her how much she needed and gave her the money to help. She came back asking for more every 2 weeks or so, saying she had lost her job, couldn't find a new one, and needed money to pay her bills and buy food. It was a point where I started to be short on money myself. Call me naive, but she was really good at playing the victim and lying. When we would go to visit her, she would apologize for not being able to offer us something to eat, going as far as opening her fridge to show us it was completely empty, saying she was skipping meals so her daughter could eat. My husband and I started to become very suspicious at that point because I was giving her a lot of money. The fridge shouldn't be empty. I also noticed that she was wearing a lot of jewelry I had never seen before, but since it could be fake, I still wasn't sure. So the next time she showed up to ask for help to pay the rent, I told her that I was a little busy, but that I would give her the money in a couple of days. My husband went straight to her landlord and asked about the rent. Turns out she was never late on her rent. Her bills were included in the price and had never lost her job. Not only that, but the amount of money she was asking was way more than the price of her actual rent. He also talked to his sister about the empty fridge. She was completely unaware of what was going on. Her sister told him that the fridge was empty because they started eating at the restaurant every day and that she was finding that odd, but since she liked that, she didn't complain. After that, I confronted my mother-in-law about it and said I wouldn't give her money anymore. That's when the sweet and kind mother-in-law disappeared. My husband forgave her but it's my mom, and she started playing mind tricks behind the scene, slowly trying to turn him against me when they were alone together. She told him that I was cheating on my husband behind his back and that I tried to seduce her new boyfriend. And he believed her. My husband and I started arguing all the time about her and the things she would say about me. It was hell. I eventually had enough and asked for a divorce. People replied in the comments with, "Geez, what a bad husband to excuse all her nonsense. I'm happy that you got out of that nightmare." But it's my mom, is when the feeling of betrayal should be magnified. Getting cheated by a stranger is bad. Getting cheated by your mom is a million times worse. Unforgivable. I am so proud of you for standing up for yourself. This concludes all the stories we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to share your opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time.